Hey friends, Dave Gudgel with you. I hope good things are happening in your life and in your relationship with Jim. So many opportunities to minister to others and to minister to one another. And I trust that that's happening in your life. And as you think about ministry and your own life and the walk that God has for you, one of the difficult areas for us is waiting. In terms of what is happens in our life day to day, we are not great at waiting. When something takes more than a day to get to us now, a package that we've ordered, a product, if it takes more than a day or two, it's too long. We can't take it anymore. I mean, the world has completely changed. And boy, when somebody puts us on hold, or we've phoned in an order, or we've ordered through an app online, and we get there to pick it up and it's not ready, we don't like it. We like things to be ready when we want them to be ready. You've probably heard the great American prayer, God, please give me patience and I want it right now. So I'll tell you, we've got issues in this area, and any learnings we can do in the matter of waiting, it's really important for us, especially if we hope to walk in God's plan and not leading Him, not lagging when He leads, but walking in step with Him, walking in step with the Spirit and the work that He wants to do in our lives. And so, unto that end, I was thinking again in my life about this great passage in Isaiah chapter 40. You're probably familiar with it. It's at the end of the chapter. And of course, chapter 40 in Isaiah is a turn in the message that is being declared through the prophet Isaiah to the nation of Israel. And he's speaking to them. He's talking to them about their wicked ways. And ultimately, however, he comes to the place where he says, "Comfort, comfort, O my people." And he's going to tell them now that there's hope on the horizon. Even though there's judgment that's coming, there are better days that are going to come. But it's going to take them waiting. They're going to have to wait on God's timing. They're going to have to wait on God's plan. They're going to have to trust God. And so, in light of that, once you get to the end of this chapter 40, you get these words, and I'm sure you've heard them before, where Isaiah says, "Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength." I mean, what a picture this is. Those people that we wouldn't think would be weary and exhausted and faint, feeling faint, would be youth, would be young men who've got a lot of energy. They've got a lot to give in life. They're at their peak performance, so to speak, physically and hopefully mentally. But what he's saying here is that let's take the best of the best. If they're trying to get by in their own strength without the help of God in the midst of the circumstances that they face, and of course, in their world, it was a bad time, and they're having to live through difficult prophecies and all the rest of it, and it was wearing them out. And he says here, Isaiah, he says, listen, even youth, even those with a lot of energy, are going to grow physically tired, faint, and they're going to be weary. And here he's talking about that emotional or mental state of mind where we get to the point where we just think, I can't go on. I can't do this anymore. It's just too hard. I got to go do something else. I can't keep going with what it is that God has for me right now. And so he's recognizing the fact that that's a part of humanity. We get tired, we get emotionally tired, we get physically tired. And yet, in the midst of all of that, he wants them to know this: they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. And the picture is that their strength's going to be renewed not just one time, but it's going to be renewed again and again. But in order to see that happen again and again, we've got to be willing to wait on God. We must be at a place where we're willing to trust His timing. And then he goes on and he says, those that are trusting His timing, those that are willing to wait on Him, shall mount up with wings like eagles. I mean, a picture of these beautiful eagles with a wide wingspan who will soar higher and higher. And I could just picture that for you or for those that are called by God to a certain task, whatever it might be. God could, through you, cause you and others to soar. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And so he's coming back to what he had just said. The thought here is that you could end up being exhausted with running. Enough of this. I don't want to do it anymore. You could end up being just physically exhausted, burnt out, done, wanting to just quit. And so God recognizes all of that, and he is saying, but the antidote to this is for us to wait. It's to wait on God's perfect timing. It's not to cave in, but it's to actively wait by turning to him. And of course, one of the best ways to do that is through prayer. And of course, many of the Psalms speak about waiting for the Lord by being strong and taking heart and waiting for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. Doesn't that touch you? Doesn't that in some way inspire you and give you hope? It does me. It's to say that God is worth waiting for, to not give up on him. He's going to come in his perfect timing, like in Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, where it says that Jesus, he came in the fullness of time. When God's Son came into the world, it was in the fullness of time. And in some ways, those who live through the period of time between the Old Testament and New Testament, the last book, the Old Testament, Malachi, the first book of the New Testament, Matthew, that period of time was a period of waiting, about 400 years of waiting as God was working. He was silent. There were no prophecies during that period of time. And yet, in the midst of what God was doing, he was getting things ready for the coming Messiah in the fullness, or in the right time, we could say. It was the right time when Jesus came. Everything was ready according to God and his plan. And we long for that, don't we? We long for God to do in our lives what it is that he wants to do. We want him to do it in his timing, but sometimes it can be difficult to wait. And so if you're waiting right now, I totally understand that. There are areas in my life always where I'm waiting. And it's an opportunity not to grow weary and not to give up, but it's an opportunity to come back to the Lord again and again and again, and to trust him, to surrender our will for his will, to continue to work in the ways that God has opened doors right now. I mean, it may be something that we're asking him to change. And it's difficult for us to continue doing what it is that we're doing right now. And yet, his desire would be that we wouldn't get out ahead of him, but we would trust him day by day. We would trust him, and we'd be willing to wait on his perfect timing, because in his perfect timing, there's strength. And in his perfect timing, there's hope. And so I encourage you in that today. Whatever it is that you're facing, remember to wait on the Lord. Don't get ahead of him. Don't try to lead him, and don't lag behind him. Just join him in the good work he is doing right now in you, even as you wait, and in the good work that is going to be done as we trust him in his timing. Well, may that be an encouragement to you as you continue to wait on the Lord. God bless. Take care now.